All right, hello everyone. This is C. Alexandra with Rolling Out. This is a design and dialogue conversation, and I have a special guest with me today. She goes by Samantha Black, and she is one of the fashion designers that is being featured at Target right now for Black History Month. So, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
I know it's one of those days, right? Look, it's almost the weekend. Look, we're almost there. But first, just tell us where you're from and how did you get started as a fashion designer?
Yeah, cool. So I'm based in Brooklyn, New York. I actually went to college for and studied fashion design. I went to art school in Brooklyn, actually. That's how I actually ended up in Brooklyn. Um, Kind of never left. I've left like small for like a couple years and then made my way back. So I studied fashion design. Then I went on to design for brands for a few years after before focusing on Sammy B. So
Okay, yay. So Sammy B, of course, love the designs.
thank you.
Tell us really quick, what is your inspiration behind it and what do you want people to feel when they wear your designs?
Ooh, okay. So I'm first generation Jamaican, born in New York. So that's like a whole thing on its own. Um, so my inspiration is always continuously New York. Like New York, like 90s New York, you know what I'm saying? Early 2000s New York, and my culture. So being Jamaican, West Indian, that plays like a big part of like who I am, how I move, how I see color, print, and pattern. Like before everyone was into color and print and pattern, Jamaicans was into color. Print and pattern and kind of just like doing their own thing. So that's what I was exposed to as a child. So it's kind of just how and why I look what I'm wearing. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, I feel you. My best
color.
friend is Jamaican, so yeah.
So it's just so normal to me to use like a lot of color and mix it all and things like that. And it's because of my culture and New York, where everyone kind of just like does their own thing and it's like nothing, you know?
Literally love New York. I'm here for it completely. I'm actually originally from Pennsylvania. So
Okay.
I was always either in New York, New Jersey, the
Yep.
whole DC, got to. Love it. Okay, well, can you take us step by step through your design process? Because you say you went to school for fashion design, so you actually know like what's going on with the fabrics, how to put things together. Can you tell us what that process looks like for you?
Yes, I mean for all designers it's kind of different. For me it can work like two ways. Like sometimes like if you see me zoned out, like I'm visualizing something, and then I always have like a little notebook with me, and I'll like jot it down, like sketch it real rough, or like with like notes or things like that. Sometimes I design first from fabric. Like I'll see fabric and be like, oh my God, this can do X, Y, and Z. And then sometimes I literally just sit down with an actual like focused theme, like, oh, I want to design motorcycle wear or something, and then I'll design into that. So for me, kind of is works a few different ways. And once I start designing it, then like the collection or whatever I am like evolves as I'm in the design process. And during that time for me, a lot always changes. Like I'll maybe work on a couple of things and then I'll work on this one design that ends up taking over. And then I like focus everything based off like this new design. But I'm a sketcher. I sketch. And then I kind of like go from there and build it out.
I love that. I love when people are like, I actually sketch out myself. It reminds me of like, I know this is like you actually do it, but Raven Baxter from That's a Raven. I literally loved her. I thought I was gonna be a fashion designer, but sugar, maybe one day. Not the sugar.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So tell us how does it feel to be highlighted by Target for Black History Month? Of course, they also preach all year long, not just for Black History Month, but how does it feel to just be recognized as a fashion designer?
I mean, honestly, it's awesome, of course. I think that as an independent designer like myself, whenever you can get recognition on a nationwide level, it's like, dang, like, okay, it's just really cool because I know I work really hard on branding and exposure and things like that. And there's just some types of exposure that you can't like really pay for, right? So everyone and their mama shops at Target, whether you're rich, poor, young, old. It's like one of those places, a destination that literally everyone goes to, men, women, etc. And so to be in a space like that and to have the biggest section, okay, it was just really cool. It was just really cool.
Okay. I love it.
It was just really cool, but also kind of like a testament to like those times that I didn't give up and kept pushing for whatever that bigger picture was. I still don't fully know what it is, but I know there's more, you know what I'm saying? So this is just like on that road to more. And like I said, that exposure to so many people who didn't know about my brand. It was a really great process working with them, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just like living in it.
Ooh, okay, I love it. That's amazing. Well, how has Target boosted the growth for your company? Because you said you got the biggest floor, biggest space already, so you're already killing it with marketing and stuff. But I guess how have you seen it grow your company even larger?
Well, I mean, it's kind of tricky because I guess I will see, right? Because everything in design is for and under Target. So it's not like I can like I know some of the behinds from asking, but it's not like with my actual business and my website and things like that where I'm seeing how something immediately affects sales or that I don't have that intel. So there are people coming to my site, but I think it's something that I'll see like over time because at this point, like everyone's just trying to like snatch up all the same maybe at Target, you know what I'm saying? For like that's not my price point, so it's like really good quality at a certain price point that I don't have. So I think that for anyone who like really enjoys my designs and wants to rock with me for the journey will then come over to my site. So I think that this is something like I will see as like time goes on, like I've of course got some more followers and things like that, but I think that's something like once it's no longer at Target, I'll see like, hey, are you guys coming over? But there's people who bought like the whole collection, so like a lot of people, so I'm like, all right, come on over to my side.
I love it. Well, yeah, so it's kind of like a marketing kind of cross promotional type of thing going on. I love
Mhm.
it. Well, are you familiar with the 15% pledge?
Absolutely.
Okay, I love it. Can you tell us, I guess, how important is it for companies to have this 15% pledge?
I think it's super important because the thing about the Black and Brown community, we don't lack creativity, right? What we lack is exposure. What we lack is funds. What we lack is connections to get us to higher heights that a lot of other communities have from birth. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any problem with kind of forcing companies to extend an arm. You know what I'm saying? I think that's important because in leveling out um, the way in which the world is kind of set and giving opportunities to people who are breaking their backs to build something from scratch for the first generation, I do think that helping, and the thing about it is when these companies are helping, they're helping talented people. They're not helping people who don't have talent and who don't have drive and who don't have businesses. You're helping something that's there just become bigger. So I think that those initiatives are amazing. I think that it's needed. And I think that in a few years, we will also see what those initiatives has done for our community in the long run.
I love it. Tell us really quick, I guess, what have you learned from this process, just working with Target, that you'll be able to use, I guess, working with other big brands in the future? We're just going to speak it into existence.
That's what I'm like, line them up. Who's next?
Let's do it.
Who's next? To be honest, working with Target, the process was literally like when a brand wants to actually highlight you, it's easy, right? So, and I learned that. So now I know going forward, if you really rock with me, want to see me grow, you want to give me exposure and give me your platform, it shouldn't be hard. Like this was like the easiest process. They're like, we love all these things about your brand. Let's do it. Like, and the process, once I finished designing, they handled all the things that like as a designer we don't like to do, the technical aspects and things like that, that when you work for a bigger company you kind of don't have to deal with that, but as a smaller brand you deal with like everything. So they handled all of that. It was just a really seamless process, and I think going forward it just allows me to know when dealing with other brands that it should be easy, and when someone's actually there to support and help you, they will.
I love it. So tell us, as far as like, I guess when it comes to your designing, right? How important is it for you to know your audience and like what they're looking for as far as like designs? And I know it's a lot of your creativity, but how important is it to know your kind of like I guess, who you're attracting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it is. It's actually super important because I can offer lingerie tomorrow. My customer is not coming to me for lingerie. So, and I'm like, this lingerie is popping. And maybe some of my, customers, whatever, will be into it, but not, that's not what they're coming to me for. So I think it's important to know kind of like like what people are coming to you for, and you can always introduce more, but keep your core. Like, so I do a lot of color, print, and pattern. I know people coming to me for that. People who that's how they rock all the time, or they're like, you know what, I need something special that's colorful, I'm gonna go to Sammy B. So I keep that. There's always like some level of comfort in what I do, whether it's the tightest dress ever or like, a pantsuit or sweatsuit, something like that. There's always a level of comfort and color, and I know that people are coming to me for those aspects, and so I'm making sure that I always keep that. And then when I want to add some things or switch it up, I can, but making sure that I keep those core things that people are coming to me for.
Mm. So kind of like consistency. You're very,
Yeah. Yes.
I love that. But it works, right? It works. But tell us, do you have any advice for any aspiring designers by any chance?
Yes. I would say stay consistent, right? And take advice from people, different people, but you don't actually have to apply it all. Get the info, get their feedback, and then sit down with yourself and decide what from that will you take back and apply to whatever it is that you do.
That's a solid answer. And just lastly, well, I got two more.
Okay.
How can we support you? And then how can we support other Black fashion designers?
Yes. Well, always support Black fashion designers. If you are into it, buy it and support it. And I promise you, you will see whatever brand you're supporting grow. And how you can support me is on my website, sammybdesigns.com. We have a bunch of amazing and fun things there that you can shop at any time. But yeah, and if you're not shopping, then following me on Instagram, Samantha Black NYC or Sammy B Designs NY, following, liking, comment, all of that. It actually, I try to explain to people all the time that it actually does help. Like once you're liking and commenting it, like, or sharing a post, it exposes me or my brand to your network of people who, and it just keeps going on and on and on. That's how people go viral. So just supporting and being consistent in your support. That's like help me and other Black talent.
I love it. And last question is Black History Month. And a lot of great people have come before us, but there's a lot of great people even now, right? So what does fashion mean to you? And I guess how have you implemented the past and the present, through our culture to, yeah, what does fashion mean to you?
I mean, fashion is everything to me. Before I knew about being a fashion designer, I knew about dressing. That's what we said in my family. Like, you dress good. Like, dressing was a big part of how my family on both sides presented themselves. And so it was always a thing. You look tidy, look presentable, and know that that is people's first impression of you before they actually get to know you. And I still live by that to this day. Like whether I'm looking real funky, like, or cool, or like sharp, whatever it is, that's what I want you to get from me. So it's super important. And history, like I said, I guess in my way, I'm stuck on the 90s, and I would say more so like 90s. I'm like, it's so ingrained in me, that time period when people really watch TV and music videos and things like that. That fly is so ingrained in like me as a person and designer that I always try to implement it somewhere. So I guess it's not that far back, but it's like kind of far back now. But that's the piece of history that I take with me in my design process and like my personal style as well. So
I love it. Yeah, 90s is timeless. I don't think it'll ever go out of style. Keeps popping up. But this has been such a great conversation. So informative, so inspiring. Thank you so much for stopping by, rolling out.
thank you so much. Bye, rolling
Of
out.
course. All right. Bye bye, Sammy.